You know where they're going around here. Don't wait too long, though, but he's
Kick away.
Dog continue to get up the fence. Dog was sort of waiting on Dog to see the play.
Well, at that stage, Shane Dye was asking to have a look at the race, and I suspect he has since, because I heard the siren, fired in a protest. We'll take it down to Peter Donegan. He'll have all the details.
Yes, there's plenty of drama happening down here, Tim Webster. There is a protest. Now, here are these horses, Shogun Lodge in the light green and Blackfriars on the left in the white cap. Now, there's no doubt Blackfriars has rolled in here. As we roll the tape, this is what the stewards will be looking at. Here he comes, Blackfriars, drifting across in front of Graham Rogerson's horse. Now, did he get in on top of Shane Dye? He's still coming in a little bit. You can see the marks on the track, and that gives you some indication of whether the horse is rolling in or not. Now, he's got in on top of Shane Dye a little bit there, and Dye has had to momentarily stop riding. Then he shakes the reins up again and pulls the whip as he gets to the outside. So there is no doubt that there was a bit of interference there. What Mr. Des Gleeson and his panel have to decide now is, was the interference severe enough to cost Shogun Lodge the race? We should point out, as we view the action in the stewards' room, Bob Thompson on the right there, Greg Childs in the middle, Peter Hayes on the left, that the horse will change place if this protest is upheld. Shogun Lodge will be the winner, Blackfriars will be second. Let's have a listen to what's going on in the stewards' room at the moment. And it is a packed stewards' room here at Flemington. They'll have a look at the videotape. They will get the jockeys to give their side of the story. They will ask the trainers if they have anything to say.
Is there a spare seat there for Mr. Sandberg, who's representing the owners? If you could sit down there beside Hope with Shane Dye. You've got a seat for Shane Dye there. Shane Dye, if you grab a seat there. Yes, you were the rider of Shogun Lodge, second past the post in the Derby.
Yes, sir.
And as a rider of Shogun Lodge, you've lodged an objection against Blackfriars being declared the winner on the grounds of release interference near the 200 metres.
Yes,
is that so? Now, as Shane Dye has viewed the head-on video and the side-on video, we'll now show all parties both videos and then get your submissions in respect of the objection.
So now, this is a vital part of any protest hearing, especially in a big race, and this is the vision that they will be looking at. So let's have a look at it once again. Jenny Chapman is here with me as we take a look at this vision. And Blackfriars rolling into the left. There's no doubt that there was some interference there, Jen.
Yes, you can see that Blackfriars is in front, but he's coming across Shogun Lodge now, and he does have to ease marginally here, come around him and then make his run again. Now, what was the official margin? I'm a bit short to be able to see it from here, but the official margin when they finished...
We will check on that.
Not exactly sure, but if I can find out shortly, that will make a difference as well, whether or not they were both going as well on the line.
I'm sure Dan Malicki might be able to pass that down from the commentary box, what the official margin was. I think it was pretty close to about a half length on the line, may have even been a little bit less than that, because in the last 30 or 40 metres, and it was half a length officially, that Shogun Lodge was certainly finishing off his race, I think, better than Blackfriars in the last 50. Yes,
I wonder if we can have another look as well from the side on, the normal shot,
yep.
And that will give us an idea as to whether or not Shogun was making ground on Blackfriars as well, and that will give us an indication as to whether or not which horse was going better.
As they continue to look at all angles, there is the official photo, so it was a half length on the line, and, well, by virtue of the fact that Shogun Lodge had to be whipped around the heels of Blackfriars, there must have been a length and a half at least between them at one stage. So Shogun Lodge was making ground. There is Shane Dye, much maligned rider in various parts of Australia, but no doubt a very talented jockey. You can see that they'll spool the tape backwards and forwards and just check it out, and you can see Blackfriars there in the white cap. Here's the side on now, so we're going to get a better idea from our point of view as it rolls in. It won't give you as much an indication of the interference, but as we go to the tight shot there, look at Shane Dye. He's had to grab hold, put the stick away, and now he knows that he's not going to get a run between Diatribe and Blackfriars, so he has to hook across the back of Blackfriars there and then shake the reins again at this horse and then almost start his run again.
Well, he did have to start his run again. You can see now he's just starting to accelerate, and I just want to see the margin on the line here. Obviously, he does make a fair bit of ground on the leader.
There's a length and a half between them there, and at the finish, there was a length between them. Look at the way he's found the line, Shogun Lodge. And as Jennifer said, the margin is going to be all important when they determine this protest. A half length, the momentum of the horses on the line will also be important. A pensive David Hayes. Well, I'm sure all of the family were absolutely delighted and somewhat emotional after that Derby victory, because of the death of the late and great Colin Hayes. Let's have a listen to Shane Dye in the stewards' room. In just a moment, we'll pick him up. Des Gleeson, the chairman of stewards.
Anyone wish to see the backline shot again?
Just questioning the riders. So now we're going to have a look at the side-on shot. As I said, they will have a look at all angles, and we're going to have a look at every angle that we've got. And here they are in isolation. Blackfriars in the white cap on the outside of Shogun Lodge. And he's just drifting in under pressure. He was going that quickly in that burst, Jen, that Greg Childs just probably wasn't able to control him just for those 3 or 4 strides. Didn't he accelerate?
He did accelerate, and a little bit unexpected too, because he's a horse that I thought would stay the distance, but didn't realise what a great sprint he did have. But this is a very interesting protest, because I think it could go either way.
It is definitely 50-50. Tim Gossage, what have you got to tell us in the betting ring?
Bookmakers are absolutely hanging on this result, Peter. As you know, the next race has been put back. They're not betting on the next race. They are hanging on this result. If Shogun Lodge gets the protest, it's a cleaner. The bookmakers will be cleaned out. It is a big go for Shogun Lodge if this protest is upheld. You can see there are still many people in the background there behind Tim Gossage in the betting ring, but I can tell you the scene here in the mounting yard is a dramatic one. There are a lot of pensive faces around, just waiting and wondering. I wonder what Bob Thompson's thinking at the moment, Jen, because as we mentioned, he was beaten by a Hayes horse in the Derby back in '94. Let's have a listen to Shane Dye's submission to the stewards.
Very vital on the first shot, but you have a look that he does come in a long way without interfering with me, which he can do, but then he does crowd me and come across, and that's at about the 0-0 mark. And if you slow up, you see my horse's head turn in and neck turn in slightly to avoid him. I've got the stick out, riding the horse along to maintain my rightful running, which is mine. Then with Greg moving across so suddenly and coming in and shading me and continuing to move, I've had to stop, which is on 40, and I've even had to turn the horse in slightly to avoid his heels, which you can see. Then on the side-on shot, you see him get right across in front of me. I've got to come to the outside. I've got no other alternative. And when I do, he continues to move across, but I've already come to the outside then. This horse was always running in and crowding. And it has definitely cost me from winning the race. If you watch the last, say, 150, when I do have to let Greg go then, and then I've got to come to his outside, and you see how much ground I've pulled up, or made up on Greg, I should say. It's the difference between winning and losing, what he's done to me at the, 250, 300 metre mark. If I had my rightful running, which I'm entitled to, there's no doubt that horse would have won. Because I wouldn't have had to stop riding, put the stick away, which I had to do, come to his outside. It's cost me a lot more than half a length, definitely, and that film clearly shows that.
Is that all you wish to say now?
Thank you.
Greg Childs, do you wish to question Shane Dye or make a submission of your own?
Yes, I've just asked Shane, did you have to check?
Do I have to check?
Yes.
I had to ease, yes.
You didn't have to check.
Well, I had to stop riding,
Just
yes.
a question.
Yes.
You didn't have to.
All right, will you go make it? Will you make a submission?
I feel there's a couple of things we need to look at. First of all, Shane Dye's coming around the turn. He's actually got in front of me. He zipped up onto the inside and got up right on the, behind Diatribe and got to his outside. Therefore, I felt that he was in front of me as we were coming around the turn. In the straight, my horse, I've had to pull him out wide. He's made a forward move. He's laid in. I haven't interfered with any runner. I felt that I was clear of Shane Dye when we got close. I feel that Shane Dye didn't have to check his mount. He may have, I'll concede, he may have put the stick away, but he did only put 2 strides, but he did not have to stop urging his mount. And I feel his horse actually, when it was, I felt that my horse sprinted clear and put it beyond doubt. His horse was struggling, so I think...
Shane Dye, do you wish to question Greg Childs?
No, sir.
No. Mr. Thompson, any Mr. Thompson, any questions of either rider or any submissions? No. Mr. Samber, any questions of either rider or any submissions?
No, sir.
Mr. Hayes, any questions of either rider or any submissions?
No questions, sir, but I'd just like to say that I think the significant thing in this protest, sir, is that we came into the straight a length and a half or 2 lengths behind Shogun Lodge, sir. We came out and made our run. We ran past Shogun Lodge a bare length. I conceded to Shane that we did shade him close. But the main point, sir, was that we were 2 lengths behind him coming to the turn. We went straight past him when Shane was going straight and level. had no interference, and we accelerated straight past him from 2 lengths behind him to a length and a half in front of him, Sue. And then Shane's got out around our heels and just stayed on well in the last bit. But no way, Sue.
Any questions from the steward? The margin between the two horses was half a length. If you wait outside, we'll give consideration to the objection. Thank you.
So now the drama really begins. As everyone leaves the stewards' room and the stewards' panel sits down, analyses the evidence, analyses the verbal evidence and also the videotape. And then they have to come to one conclusion. Will it be a conclusion that pleases David Hayes or not? He looks pretty relaxed at the moment, but the conclusion they have to come to is, did that interference cost Shogun Lodge more than half a length? If it did, then he will probably be awarded the race. And Shane Dye put forward a pretty convincing argument. The drama continues here at Flemington, and we'll be back to see whether Shogun Lodge or Blackfriars is the Derby champion very shortly.
Derby Day for 1999. The big crowd sitting there expectantly, wondering what's going on in that steward's room. Drama charged we are for this year's Derby. And as Peter Donegan said, a very convincing case put forward by Shane Dye in the committee room. Let's go down to Peter.
The incident did not affect the result of the race, and the placings therefore stand. Blackfriars first and Shogun's Lodge second. Thank you.
The protest has been dismissed. The jockeys shake hands. It must have been a pretty close thing, but I'll tell you what, they didn't deliberate for that long. It was only round about a 5-minute period, and I can tell you that opinions were evenly divided here in the mounting yard as to whether the protest would be upheld or dismissed. It was a line ball, but Blackfriars is the Derby champion, and the rug goes on now. So the protest dismissed in the Amy Victoria Derby, and that means, Dan, these dividends are official.
Something about protests earlier on, Pete. $4.10 Blackfriars and $1.70 for the place. Made good television though. $1.70 Shogun Lodge and $2.20 for Diatribe. Quinella $7.20. The trifecta $59.70. Race to race double $58.70. So the bookies can go to the bar. They might need one. They had to sweat that one out, Tim.
He certainly did, and there was a big roar around the bookmakers' ring because yes, the punters lament, but the bookmakers are very happy with that result. We lost power down here for a while too during that, so we couldn't really see everything that was taking place in the steward's room. Well, can Shane Dye finally get a winner? He's on the favourite in the next Tie the Knot. He's had 5 place getters today. Victorian punters, well, they're hoping that Referral can get up because it's almost opened up favourite here for race 7.
Thanks very much to Tim Gossage, and I've just made my way over to outside the stewards area, and Bob Thompson is here, the trainer of Shogun Lodge, that horse that was so brave. How do you feel, Bobby? Do you feel deflated at the moment?
Oh, I mean, I was quite thrilled with the horse to run a gallant second like he did. To run a place in these sort of races is it's very exciting, and to go down, it's disappointing. It just would have been a nice race if the interference hadn't have happened, and we got clear running to the line. I agree with what the stewards, the half a length margin at the post was probably too great a margin to take a race like the BRC Derby off the winner.
You finished second in controversial circumstances 5 years ago here. You feel as though you must have done something that lucks against you in this race?
Oh, I'm still very pleased to run second in the BRC Derby. One day, hopefully, we've got a horse good enough to win it.
Bobby, commiserations, but well done on the performance of a very brave horse.
Yes, thank you very much. He certainly is every bit of that. He's certainly a brave little customer.
Bob Thompson, the trainer of Shogun Lodge, after his second placing and perhaps even a chance of winning it in the steward's room there. Let's have a look at the tote figures for the next race with Dan Malicki. Daniel, it's the middle pin of the Group 1 treble, the McKinnon Stakes.
And Tie the Knot at $3.40 is the favourite. He's had 11 starts in Victoria for just the one win. It was a Group 1 win. Indigaze at $12. Has been drawing barriers one the last 3 starts. Gets out into a bit of daylight, they say today, and may well improve. 4 Referrals, $6.40. Aerosmith, $7.80. One of the favourites for the Melbourne Cup last year. Placed at Group 1 level last time. Skybow, big odds. Rogan Josh at $11. Rebel at $65. Then Oliver Twist, 13, with Arena Lawyer at 44. Sent Home at $5.90, Rebel 34, and Londolozi is at about $62. So that's the field of 13 that will line up for the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes, race number 7 at Flemington. Tim.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, we're just waiting for these presentations to be ready after all of that drama. And our viewers in North America, that would have been interesting for you. It's only in the last few years we've been allowed into the committee room to hear all of that, and very dramatic it was. As we said, RS Dye put forward a pretty good case. Greg Charles put his, and protest dismissed. So we have the presentations ready for the Amy Victoria Derby of 1999.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is presentation time, finally, and Mrs. Lydia Keane, the wife of Mr. Brian Keane, has gratefully given the sash to the winning horse. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the VRC Chairman, Mr. Andrew Ramsden.
His Excellency the Governor, Sir James Gobbo and Lady Gobbo, Right Honourable the Lord Mayor and Lady Mayoress, Minister for Racing, Honourable Rob Hulls, Brian and Linda Keane, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, what a wonderful race. More than lived up to its classic status, with the drama of a protest thrown in. This is my first carnival as chairman of the VRC, and I'm particularly proud to be representing the VRC committee and the club in this presentation, the 8th Victoria Derby, sponsored by Amy. And I'm delighted to see such a fabulous crowd here. Amy is without doubt one of the club's most valued sponsors. There's no small measure if it's esteemed this fabulous new Waterford Crystal Trophy is being presented for the first time. Congratulations to the connections of Blackfriars, Mr. Robert Sangster. And now may I introduce the Chief Executive of Amy, Mr. Brian Keane.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsden. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. At Amy, we're delighted to be able to be part of this marvellous Foster's Melbourne Cup Carnival. At Amy, we've 2,000 people determined to be the best in whatever they do. And I think you'll agree that Derby Day is simply the best. And we're delighted to be associated with the VRC in its presentation of the Victoria Derby, won today by Blackfriars, ridden by Greg Charles and trained by Peter Hayes. And on behalf of Amy, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate the owners of Blackfriar, the Swettenham Stud Syndicate, and ask Mr. Robert Sangster to accept the trophy for the Amy Victoria Derby.
Governor and Lady Gobbo, Lord Mayor and Lady Mayoress, the Chairman of the VRC, and all the committee members. That was a hell of a long wait, but it was worth it. It was wonderful to win your Victorian Derby, and I'd like to congratulate Peter Hayes. Colin, I'm sure, is looking at us from up there, and David trained a Derby winner for me. Wonderful to have Peter to train one, but I'd love to dedicate this Derby to Betty Hayes, the mother of 4 wonderful children and a dynasty in Australian racing. They are fantastic. They've been very close to my family and were real friends. Thank you very much. And also, sorry, Greg Charles for riding a superb race. Yeah, I'm not forgetting him. He did the business, and but I was a little carried away because the Hayes family are very special to me. Thank you.
And congratulations to Peter Hayes.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, distinguished guests, first of all, I'd like to thank AMI for the sponsorship of this race. They gave me a lovely AMI jacket, which will be worn very proudly over the next 3 or 4 weeks. I'd like to thank Robert and the Sangster family. This has been a huge thrill. Robert decided that, and his team, that this mare would go to Danehill. They reared the colt at Collingrove. I saw him for the first time as a yearling, and then he's come through our system at Lindsay Park. So it's given us a great thrill to, from the very time he hit the ground to now to win this race. I'd like to thank everyone at Lindsay Park, obviously in Melbourne, everyone that's played a part, particularly Gary Fennessy, Tony McAvoy, everyone at home that's had a part to play in this. I'd also like to thank Greg. Again, a great ride in a big race, and the way everyone here received him. Thank you.
Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Greg Childs on another derby.
Mr. Chairman, members of Victoria Racing Club, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'd also like to reiterate what Peter's just said, a team effort to win the derby. Special thanks to Peter Hayes, his staff, Gary Fennessy, the track rider Mick Mellion, who does a lot of work on the horse, Paddles, who's leading the horse around right now, and also back at Lindsay Park, Tony McAvoy, as a team effort, and all came together today. Shane Dye gave us a few hair-raising moments, but that's Shane. He obviously gives his best and tries to win when he doesn't win, and I respect that, but it was scary there for a minute because you never take anything for granted. The Stewart's seen it our way, and rightly so. He won on his merits. He was too good. He outstayed them, and hope to be back here again next year. Thank you.
Yes, well done, Greg Childs, and well done, Peter Hayes, too. And I'm sure if C.S. Hayes was looking down upon proceedings today, he would now have a very, very big smile on his face. In fact, a friend of Robert Sangster's told me that he thinks it could possibly be, if not the best, certainly one of the best horses he's ever had. And there he is, Blackfriars. Very dramatic, very emotional day was the Amy Victoria Derby of '99.
Over 137 years, it has captured the heart and soul of all Australians. It's the biggest, most prestigious event in our sporting calendar. Yet, it's beyond sport. It's a tradition steeped in our blood, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Only one network can bring you all the emotion of history in the making. The 1999 Melbourne Cup Day, live at Exclusive, starts 10 a.m. Tuesday on 10.
Welcome back, viewers around Australia and right throughout North America on cable television as well. This is Amy Victoria Derby Day 1999, and a pretty magnificent crowd in, and it shouldn't be too long we find out how many. Now, let's have a look at all placings in the Derby. You can see where your horse finished, and the favoured horses did fill the placings, of course. Blackfriars, Shogun Lodge and Diatribe. A few of the other interesting runners. Liberty Hall was up there too. Chief Scout, disappointing down the tail of the field. That's where all horses finished, just in case you might have been running some sort of a competition and needed a last place getter. It is Rock of the Ages there. So there's the Amy Victoria Derby field, how they finished after all of that drama and all of that emotion. And what an extraordinary day. Look at this, watch this. Robert Sangster and Peter Hayes, great mates. The family's been very close for a very long time, and great day for them. And Peter Donegan, this next race, our North American viewers will be very interested because the toppy here is the favourite for this race. He's the favourite for the Melbourne Cup. Very interesting to see how tie the knot goes.
He is a wonderful galloper, Tim, and of course Shane Dye's had all of the worry of the protest to go through. Yes. I can tell you that this race has been put back to 3:37, but Jen, we're almost, well, we're about 2 minutes away from that now, and the horses have just come into the mounting yard, so they're going to run late. And just to bring you up to date with the other times, 4:13 4.13 for race 8, the Salinger, and the Yellenby Stud Stakes at 4.50. So those races have been put back a few minutes. There is Shane Dye making his way out to tie the knot. He's a professional. All of what's gone on should be put behind him now because he is riding the Melbourne Cup favourite in this race.
Yes, one of his dear friends, Tie the Knot. Oh, look at him. He looks fantastic, Peter, and whatever he does today will be a great indication on what he will do on Tuesday. He's just such a good horse. He can't run a bad race. He might even win today.
What about the fact that he's 1 win from 10 starts in Melbourne and he's a Flemington maiden?
Well, I think the fact that he's probably the best stayer we have here in Australia probably discounts that.
I agree. Intergaze number 2, Craig Carmody. He was known as a giant killer. His run in the Cox Plate no doubt was disappointing. There were excuses before that. Can he bounce back?
Well, good horses can, and he's got plenty of class about him, Intergaze, and I think I'd be prepared to forgive him for that run in the Cox Plate. And let's hope that he's right on target here today because he's a terrific horse as well.
I reckon this bloke's going to improve today, Jen. Referral number 4 for Corey Brown. Ran over the 2,400 metres in the Caulfield Cup. I think is a better horse either at 1,600 or 2,000.
Well, he's got the 2,000 here today, and I think he'll go very well. Back on the dry track, that suits him as well. He looks well. Yes, he must be rated a good chance.
What about the old boy Aerosmith? He's been around for a while, 7 years of age. Damien Oliver rides for Peter Hurdle.
Well, he ran third in this last year. He's a horse that also likes the dry track, and he's got that. And he should be able to improve here. He's as honest as they come, and he'll give you a sight for your money.
They were jumping out of the trees during the week to back Rogan Josh, number 7, in the Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday, and there is his Melbourne Cup. Well, John Marshall, who'll be accompanying him today, and Bart Cummings is the trainer, and of course he knows a thing or two about Melbourne Cups.
Sure does, having won 10 of them. Rogan Josh, a very good run there in the Caulfield Cup. He's a horse that he'll probably get back in this race, but I tell you what, it'll be great to see what he does here today for Tuesday.
What about Oliver Twist? He absolutely strolled in the Kunji.
Yes, I think it's his acid test here today.
Arena, number 10, Darren Gauci.
He's a very honest performer, and he's got to put himself into the race too.
Derby winner of last year, there he is, number 10. And let's take a look at the Smoky, the Kiwi, number 12, Sent Home, to be ridden by Lance O'Sullivan.
Yes, I'm lucky enough to see a couple of his runs, and this horse does go extremely well. I think you'd keep him very safe if you're taking trifectas.
$6.10 on the tote. He's eased out 40 cents. Trifecta from you, Jen?
Well, I'm going with the Smoky, number 12, Sent Home. From number 4, Referral, number 1, Tie the Knot.
And I'll go Tie the Knot. What are they showing on the tote, Daniel?
Well, Tie the Knot is the favourite at around the $3 mark. That is Sent Home. Their famous colours, Peter pointed out earlier on today. Carbine wore them, Superimpose wore them, and Sent Home has got a chance to add to a Group 1 tally. It's a very good horse. I saw him win in New Zealand, the Celt Stakes, and he's got a terrific turn of foot and consider the first 3 or 4 runners too, so he might end up getting the run of the race. Sent Home. Tie the Knot favourite, $2.90. Intergaze trimming up in at $10, $6 Referral, $9 Aerosmith, Rogan Josh out to 15, and on the next page, Arena given a chance with Oliver Twist, but it's Sent Home at $6, who's about the equal second pick with the tote. Tim Gossage in the ring.
Yeah, well, they let punters on Tie the Knot early. He has tightened up a little bit. It is the outright favourite for Shane Dye, and the best money has come for the Kiwi. Number 12, Sent Home. It is clearly the second pick in the bookmakers' ring.
Thanks to Tim Gossage in the betting ring. There is the master, J.B. Cummings. Can he do it again? We'll find out when we come back with the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes after this break. Just recovering from the drama of the Amy Victoria Derby, and now they can hold their breath again because the Melbourne Cup favourites going around in the Louis Vuitton McKinnon Stakes. They're filling the gates. Here are the last-minute thoughts of Roy Higgins as they adjust the girth on Referral.
Thanks, Pete. Yes, the favourite for the Melbourne Cup, Tie the Knot, the top weight, or number 1 in this particular race, looked absolutely outstanding in the mounting yard. This run will just tighten him up perfectly for Tuesday. I think Shane Dye gets a chance to win a big one here. I marked him clearly on top of 2 Intergaze. Look for a better run from him today. Certainly the 4 Referral. This horse has done an absolute treat since he's